This week on the Push for Legs podcast, we chat about being sore still, coaching, how to get motor morons to move properly, and of course, we have to talk about the European Super League.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Justice for Cuthbert.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push for Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, bud?
That has definitely been the story of the week. Not the European Super League, not that. No. Not Line of Duty, apparently, which I've not watched yet. I'm waiting. Don't no one talk about it
either. I need to watch it as well.
Because what I'm doing is I'm waiting until all the episodes are done, then binge watch it. I can't deal with this week to week waiting shit. No, I want to find out now, so I want to wait until it's all done.
I keep seeing memes of it as well, and I'm like, I don't really understand this. Okay, yeah, sure. But the Cuthbert thing, Jesus, who thought that would go off the chain? Part of me, the cynical part of me, thinks they're all in on it, the supermarkets, and it's just a nice media campaign to get people talking about supermarkets and getting them in and all this kind of stuff. The cynical person, but then I'm like, but really, doesn't?
Have you seen Aldi's? Have you seen their most recent post?
No.
Oh, so today, Tom, I think it's today. Yeah, I'm sure it's today. They posted saying that because they stopped selling it in February. They call it the Cuthbert. They stopped selling it in February.
Cuthbert the Caterpillar,
They've brought it back. They brought it back for a limited edition run, right? And they've said that they're going to donate all the profits to charity. And they've said to Marks and Spencer's on a social media post, like, hey, look, come on. Like, we're bringing him back for limited edition. Like, let's bygones be bygones. Let's make some money for some charities. And M&ms can't be like, well, what are they going to do? They can't. They can look bad if they go no. Like, no, we're still going to take this court. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they've proper stitched them up.
It's insane. Just for perspective, like, so apparently, so I've got this up here, Daniel, as always. So I've done my research. So in Asda, you have Clyde the Caterpillar. In M&S, you also have a Connie. In Co-op, you have Charlie. Audi is Cuthbert. Tesco, there is Curly. Morrison's have Morris. Cecil is Waitrose. You have Colin, another one from M&S. Carl, homemade one. You have Creepy Colin. You have Wiggles from Sainsbury's. And a Christmas Colin. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 others from different supermarkets, all of a similar.
But it's because they know Audi take the piss. It's because Audi take the piss on everything, don't they? Audi take the piss on everything. It's like not Red Bull, is it? It's Blue Cow. You know, it's like it's just that whole thing. But basically,
it's so funny. Yeah, I love Audi. I obviously my girlfriend's not from this country, and I took her to an Audi when we were up in the Lake District, just as an experience, and she was like, what is this? This place has all the stuff, but it doesn't have the stuff. It was just like, I know this brand, but I don't know this brand.
Yeah. Basically, awesome. on the tweet they put, hey, Marks and Spencer's, can Colin and Cuthbert be besties? We're bringing back a limited edition Cuthbert and want to donate profits to cancer charities, including your partners, Macmillan Cancer and ours, Teenage Cancer. Let's raise money for charity, not lawyers. That's what they said. That's what they thought. Brilliant, that.
That's amazing.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, I have enjoyed all of the socials a lot.
I'm quite surprised that Innocent haven't got in on it. Innocent usually love it.
Yeah, absolutely smashing it, crushed it. Whoever's in charge of the Audi social media accounts, they've done well. They've earned a bonus this year. They're going to get at least 2 or 3 Cuthberts in their little Christmas stocking at the end of the year. Lovely. All right, mate. So me and Dan are sore. Newsflash. Week 2 of the gym. I trained earlier. We're recording this at like 9 p.m. because we're just grinding all day. But yeah, I'm 6 hours and I've got DOMs.
Yeah, well, mine's I think it's a little bit of an increase in volume and also up the weights a little bit this week. But it's just like, it hits you.
Yeah, I did the same. I did I had the old increased volume trick, and I had one more set on at least 6 exercises, and then I have the choice of increasing my load, and I did on a couple of things, on the main exercises anyway. A1 and B1. I increased it by a staggering 2 kilos. But yeah, on those goblet squats, I'm doing goblet squats. How insane is that?
I've done my program as well. 3 sets of 6 I did. I was at that yesterday. That's probably why my groins are hurting because I got a pause at the bottom as well.
I got
pause at the bottom.
I got like 3 sets of 8s or 10s or something like that. I think it was the first week was like 2 sets of 8s because it's like a get into it week, find out what you're doing. I only have 2 sets of everything, and then everything goes to 3 sets on the next week. And then I think I increased reps on the week after. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's just like, all right, well, I can only really use the ones from, I don't know, I think I'm at 48 and 50 kilo goblet squats, and then it just gets annoying. You can't go above that. That's the heaviest dumbbell in the gym.
I think I did 45s for 6s, 3 6s for 45 with a pause.
I swear people always look at me weirdly as well. It's like, why are you goblet squatting that heavy?
Yeah, because I can. That's why.
It's like, why don't you just back squat? I don't want to, because this is way nicer. You realise, like, I also had to bring one of those, I think the 48, over to the other side, like, so I had to walk it. And one of the people don't do these. I'd love people to do these more. Is a goblet carry with a fucking heavy dumbbell. And I was taxed from walking like 20, 30 yards with that.
You know what? I've just realised that's probably what my upper back's sore about. I've got soreness in my upper back.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is.
Most likely, yeah. Goblet carries are pretty tough because usually what the limiting factor isn't your legs. It's like your fucking torso and your ability to stay upright and locked in. It's just like, it just goes. Goblet holds. Love them. All right. So we're both sore. Wonderful update for you guys. But we're enjoying training, which is a rarity. So
no, I'm loving it. I said to I saw Justin today actually in the gym, and as people that's the other thing. People think that the amount of messages I've had, people are like, "Oh, how's CrossFit going?" It's like, brilliant. What? Because I'm not just lifting weights on machines or with dumbbells or barbells anymore, and I'm actually doing something that causes me to sweat. I must be doing CrossFit. I just find it quite funny that, again, it's that whole thing of like, there's no name for it though. Like we talked about, there's not that's what people know it as. It's just, they don't know anything else. So I understand it a little bit, but yeah, it's, and it's sort of starting to get easier, as weird as that sounds. Like I'm able to now do more things when I'm out of breath. I can do things like my capacity is improving, and it doesn't feel like such a weird thing doing 3 exercises in a row anymore. It's like, okay, I can just do this now. This is fine.
Every now and again, when you have that, you just have to go, fucking come on down, like just because I have to do that. Like I'll be like, fuck, I've still got one more set, one more round. I'm like, come on, I know you can do it. Like the weight's not crazy heavy. That's purposeful. It's meant to be back to back. It's meant to tax your engine more than anything else. Yeah.
And it's just that thing of I remember I did the one I posted as a reel. I did ski erg step ups, press ups as like the thing. You just go through it. Basically, you have to do 4 rounds before ski erg, before and after, during, everything. And I remember last time doing it, after I'd finished like the 3 of them, having to take like a proper breather and a bit of a drink and be like, fuck me, and then have to go again. This time it was more a case of I stopped to have a little sip of my drink and I was like, right, I can go, I can do this. And it's just weird how quickly your body adapts. Like what have I done now? 2 weeks. This is my 3rd week of it. I've done 2 longer distance sort of like cardio things. I did 1 run, 30 minutes, did 50 minutes on the bike on Saturday, which was done in different intervals and stages. It's just weird how quickly your body gets used to that, and how quickly you adapt to the aerobic side of things. And also the strength stuff. I feel stronger, obviously, as well. But I think that's more of a muscle memory thing, because I have been able to lift those things before. Whereas aerobically, I've not done anything for fucking ages. But it's mad how quick you can build up that base. And I know it's going to get harder. I know that you just then have to meet the threshold. You just have to climb and follow your lactate threshold. Just keep chasing it. But no, it's been really enjoyable. And like you said, it's just nice going in, having a plan, knowing what you're doing, knowing that you're gonna come out of it and you're gonna feel good, and it just makes you feel good. I found that's the thing I found from it, is that the way I'm training, getting a bit out of breath and all that sort of stuff.
I feel like that as well, not since switching, but doing a lot more of it. It's just like, the endorphins and all that business, and you're like, shit. Yeah. I realize the sweat effect. You don't have to sweat but it's just like, all right, well, at some point, maybe to build up your aerobic capacity, you might sweat, like sweaty guy. And it's been so hot. It's been so enjoyable. Dan, I totally underestimated how hot it was yesterday and went outside at about 1 o'clock in jeans and a full like winter Lululemon jacket on. I was boiling.
I did the same.
I was like, I'm late, so I can't turn back and put it back. I'm like, I'm going to run.
I did the same. I left to take Isabel to school yesterday, and I left, and I was like, I'll tell you what, I wear my shorts because I go to the gym straight after. I wear my shorts, but I wear my fleece and then a coat. I was like, and I'll be fine. It was like 1 degree in the morning. Came out the gym at like 11, and it was 14 degrees, sunny, and I came out obviously a bit hot, and I was just like, oh my god. I was like, this is awful. Yeah, I didn't like it. But like you said, it's not it's with that as well though, with the whole like not sweating thing. It's not the sweating, it's the getting out of breath, and it's the taxing your body. Sweat's a byproduct of it. It's the tax in your body, which I think is quite cool.
All right. So throughout this episode, let's touch on the fitnessy based stuff, and then we can let the people who are not interested in football at the end, because we'll just rant about that. Again, we have to talk about the European Super League and what's fucking happening. It's insane. As both myself and Dan have a working knowledge of the American sports system. I'm a big NFL fan. Dan is a big NBA fan. So we understand the premise, but we're also working in football, support football teams. I'm passionate about that. So we might have a bit of a view. Never know. Hey there, sports fan. But we'll do it at the end, mate, because I've realised that there may be some people who will just be like, I wish they'd get through this bit. They can just chop off. I'll interesting.
Probably do that every week anyway.
I'll look at the stats of basically, I reckon there's a massive drop off straight after we finish eating protein bars, and then people just don't listen. Anyway, but yeah, we vaguely talk about, I had a few messages. And I pointed some people in a general direction. And unfortunately, this would be a case and we would teach this on the PT Core course, but obviously we haven't launched it yet. And it's basically as you come through your personal training qualification. And one of the things that I think people start to get more savvy with is obviously their business, their Instagram, their programming. You can find a lot of stuff on, but coaching skills, actual physical coaching, being able to coach the general public is massive. And I guess from mine and Dan's perspective, like we've done that with pro footballers through to general pop, right? So we understand the premise of coaching. It's something I talk. I have a seminar on it in Third Space. Everybody within Third Space have to sit. One of my coaching internal queuing workshops. So it's basically getting motor morons to move how you want them to is the aim of the game. I guess we should briefly talk about that because it seems like something that is, I teach the fucking level 3. It is not covered whatsoever. It does not prepare you to talk to human beings and get them to do what you want them to do at all. But luckily enough, when you do the PT core, we have a lovely little system, which cleverly fits into the acronym PTC. So it's really easy to remember. How convenient was that? I mean,
you definitely spent a day thinking
about it. Me and Luca, oh yeah, that was a whole day. We went coffee, then lunch, and then back for coffee, and then all we had on the board was just PTC, and then just me and Luke just stroking our beards for hours. How can we fit this? We got that coming, and obviously I talk about external, internal queuing and all that kind of stuff. So it's just normal queuing and Professor What's Her Face that does some other crap on external queuing. But yeah, and teach backs and coach backs and all this crap. Because I think it's also a good thing that I teach a lot and we get taught about. The only things you ever get taught about are like Audible, like Visual Learner or this learner, and you're like, there's actually 3 stages above those in terms of thresholds for learning capacity. So those are probably the worst ways to teach somebody. Just an FYI. Lovely. And we've got to do a protein bar review, mate. Let's do that before we get into that. European football protein bar review. Daniel, you have some tasty treats. I am going to go for another Nikki's Fit Kitchen because she has an updated version of the Biscoff, I believe. And Dan decided to buy himself protein bars and not me, even though it was my round.
Needs the protein bars in my life. The one I've got is peanut M&ms. Peanut M&ms, high protein. 15 grams of protein. Not quite full amount.
Not quite a full amount, is it?
What one did I do last week?
I've
got a feeling I did this one.
Notice how busy I was. So you have to listen to the show. I haven't put it on Instagram. You did that one last week?
I feel like I did this one. I did this one last week.
No, we both had from protein.
Oh no, we had the lemon dreamy ones, didn't we?
Yeah.
You had a bit of a hissy fit about the lemon.
Yeah, okay. So you are eating that guy. It's 15 grams of protein. Don't know the other macros. I've got this Biscoff number, I believe. Dan said it's the Biscoff. I actually haven't got the packaging that Nikki sent it to me in, so I don't know. So it's gonna be interesting. I guess we're just both gonna bite in, mate. You can talk about what's happening.
Very good. This one. So they've sacrificed 5 grams of protein to basically fit in mini M&ms. So it's got M&ms in it. And it's very good. It tastes like peanut M&ms. Funnily enough. And it's got, I read the calories on it for you guys. Oh shit, I've ripped it right through. 209. But that is one of the better protein bars out there, I would say. Like, of these versions, like these ones, it's no protein pantry. Like, let's not be silly. But it's edible. I'd buy more of them.
It's edible.
But I say that because I've had the Snickers peanut butter one, and it's not as good as you'd think it would be. Like that one as well. But that's very good.
Have they improved since? Because obviously the company that makes all of them is Mars, right? And I remember the rush when Mars released their protein bar and when Snickers released their protein bar, and I always thought they were bang average.
They were good. They're good.
Okay, on the good side of average.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I would give that as a score.
Have they gotten better? Because that was obviously about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, they have got better, I think. But I think this one is. I think if we're saying protein pantries are the sort of the 9-10 region. This is 7.5. Do you know? It's pretty good.
So I had my Biscoff.
It's on a par with the carb killer, I would say.
I had my Biscoff little cake, and I've got a funny feeling that I've left this too long to eat.
It has been a long time, to be fair.
I think it has been like maybe a month. I'm not going to lie. Sorry, Nikki. This is not going to be a good review. I think the use by date or sell by date or eat by date is about 2 weeks, maybe.
The protein pantry ones are.
Forgot about it. They're normally about that, and it is quite chewy. So please let me know if that's not. I'm pretty sure that I can get the Biscoff taste of it, and I'm pretty sure eat it within the sell by date.
That would help.
Would be my advice. I can taste it. It tastes good, but it gets incredibly chewy at some point. I was like, oh. Have I gone back in time? Have I just put a Quest bar in my mouth? Okay. Yeah, so we've got to do that podcast, man.
That's how you know, because the last one wasn't. That's how you know it's definitely out of date.
Yeah, it's definitely out of date because I ate, just as a disclaimer, I did eat the, what was it? The birthday cakey one that she made. And that was definitely not chewy and that was gorgeous. So I'm going to go, if I was going to rate the birthday cakey one that she did, the Nikki's Fit Kitchen, that was like an 8.5 out of 10. Love that. Still, Protein Pantry birthday cake is out there on its own. I've got to say that
still is that cake bit in it, man. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
like someone texted me the other day. One of my clients texted me and he said, "Oh, Protein Pantry's restock." I went on there, no birthday cake, no Bakewell tarts. So I was like, "Well, it's not a restock, then, is it? Don't talk to me."
They were also. I almost sent you the advert as well because they're hiring. They're hiring.
Taste testers.
Mate, since we started talking about them, they've got their sales.
They're hiring now, yeah.
Expert. So
I tell you what, I hope that means that they can have more options more frequently.
Yeah,
by hiring
hope so. Hope that
they need
it. They need a baker. Yeah, another baker. So yeah, we'll do it. Fuck it. What's Laura doing? Oh, what's Isabel doing? She doesn't need to go to school.
Yeah, screw it. She can do that instead. happily make it.
I wouldn't. I was about. I said Laura, but then I was like kitchen-based task.
No, you can't put her in the kitchen, mate.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Recipe for disaster.
Literally. Yeah, I would go with Isabel every day. All right, mate.
Smart.
We talk about coaching. Coaching. I'm going to put it here. Motor morons to move. m&ms.
Motor morons to move.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. I believe one of the lads that reached out is Warren, who I think listens to the show. I'm not too sure. I know he qualified through us, the PTC. Let's see if we got. There you go. Boom. Yeah, I gave him some recommendations. I just read him a little bit. I'm sure he won't mind me blowing this. It was just the qualified, blah, blah, blah. Quickly concentrated a lot on the business and programming aspects as opposed to maybe the fundamentals of teaching people how to actually perform movements from scratch. Any advice and direction would be incredible. Lovely. Yeah, so I think the issue here is there a set way that you go about teaching people? Is there like a process that you used to do, Daniel, or in terms of guidance or not?
Not really. I think it's again, just as any coaching, it's kind of individual based on how that person would learn and I suppose take things in. Some people learn by doing, some people learn by being told, some people learn by reading. So it's kind of hard really to guide someone through it. You kind of have to let them do it at their own pace a little bit. But obviously I've never been in front of a PT and taught them movements and stuff like that, really, not for a long time.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So there's obviously the axis of learning for what we say motor morons and just general people. You'll notice when teachers make people, it's either teach backs and teaching when within a group, you get maybe the strongest person to teach the weakest person and basically use that so they self-teach themselves, which when we get it, if you repetition, we start to teach back something and then we start to understand it better. We're questioned over it because we teach it back all the time. So one of the things is obviously we show them what's happening. We would ask them if they understand. They'd ask for any minutia that they were unsure of. And then it's ask them to demonstrate what they think. So their informed coaching back to you is how I would start to go about that in terms of instruction. So I'd be like this. So to summarize in terms of how I set up to coach somebody, I would get them in. Literally, we drill this in so much with the PTC, right? It's get them in the most optimal position to succeed. Like if you set them up in an exercise, get them in the fucking position they're meant to start from and don't fuck about. Literally put them there. I realize it's COVID, but as long as you got their consent, like bosh, like be like boom, boom, boom. I want this here, with this here, this here, this here. That's your starting position. And most exercises, that is your ending position. I'm assuming like there's very few exercises you just go from one position and then you stay there, right? And then roll away to get back into the first position again. So it's normally you've got like 2 bits nailed already, right? That's your optimal starting and optimal ending position. Then you just got to fill in the gap, like the big fucking do the exercise. So it's normally a breakdown. And like you said it last week, I think last week, the week before, it's like when you were talking about overcoaching, right? And you were getting annoyed by John Reeson. It was like give them basically the most succinct coaching points, like 3 tops. They're learning a brand new exercise, 3. See if they know anything that resembles it. So it's always like a question like, have you ever done this before? Blah, blah, blah. No. All right. Well, we're going to go through it quickly and then use the fucking environment. I get so pissed off when coaches don't use their environment, their gym, equipment, stuff that's around them to their advantage, like seats, poles, walls, that kind of thing. Lines on the floor, huge. Jesus Christ, if it's got tiling, game changer. Suddenly your feet should never be misaligned. Like literally look down, use that line. No matter what, some of my clients will always fuck up their beast down squat, even though every single time I demonstrate, I put one foot in front of one line and one foot directly behind that same line. And I'm like, I use the line when I do this myself. Can you do that for me? And they'll be like, just set up in the middle of a fucking square, all skew width. And I'm like, am I talking to myself? I'm like, use the line. I don't need to use the line. Yes, you do. Like, yes, you do, please. So I think that's big. I think environmental factors are huge. And then after they've done a few reps, check for kind of information, check for knowledge, that kind of thing. What were you doing with your knee? Pushing it out. Perfect. Awesome. Right. I want that. It's reinforcement. What did I say about your chest? Oh, shit. Yeah, it's meant to be up. Perfect. That was what I would get. So it'd be get them in the most optimal position. Demonstrate, obviously, go through it with them if they have to. 2 to 3 big coaching cues when you do the movement, and reinforce the coaching cue whilst you're in that movement pattern. So it'd be like, I am driving my hips backwards. Literally drive your hips backwards when you say that, so they know the connection between that happening. And poke shit. That would be my summary of how to get motor neurons to move and repetition. But the position thing is huge. And I remember environment. I remember Dan did a session with a client before, and she was getting bored with it's just talking about environment more. She was getting bored with the same session. That obviously we were good coaches and we'd repeat sessions over 4-week periods and just change the variable slightly. And then I remember you complaining about her. And then you literally went from the corner of the gym and you took her into the studio and did the same session. And she loved it and was like, oh, that was really great. All you did is walked around the corner and did the same session. I creased up and you're like, what a fucking moron. Right, I didn't do anything different. We just changed the room.
Sometimes literally that's all it needs. Sometimes is like that change of stimulus a little bit. But just on that, the only other thing I was going to add to that is something that I've had to do before is sometimes people just don't get cues or movements very well. And one thing you can do is get them to practice isometric holds in the end range position you want them to hold in. So you just go, right, say example, you want them to do a reverse lunge. You're just going to get them in a bottom of a split squat and just go, hold that for 30 seconds. And their body's going to kick in and go, oh shit, okay, I know how to do this now. And then when they do met that step back, it's not such an alien movement to them. So people always obviously want to get people moving, but they forget that actually holding a static position can be a precursor to being able to then move into that position once they've found the strength to hold themselves there. Because a lot of the time it's a strength issue. It's that they can't move their body there, but their body can't hold them in that position because it doesn't know what the fuck to do. So if you put it in a position where it needs to stay there, you'll soon find that nervous system will kick in and it will teach them how to stay in that position. And then there's less things for them to worry about. They haven't got to move. They haven't got to worry about any cues. They've literally just got to stay still, which obviously is easier said than done. But you can progress from there to then go, right, so you held that split squat at the bottom. Now what I want you to do is to do up and down. Now do the up and down movement. Oh, okay, I can do the up and down movement now. Okay, that's easier. Right, now I want you to stand still. Now I want you to lunge backwards and do it. And then that's how you can progress to doing those sorts of things. Before you know it, they're doing a rear elevated split squat with 20 kilos in each hand and you're laughing. It takes a bit longer than it would for most people. But for a lot of your clients, you wouldn't have to do that first bit because they would just be like, okay, cool, I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think we spoke about it just before we came on and was like, people, I still get painted the brush with functional coach. Why do you spend so much doing your warm up, Tom? I'm like, guess what? So I don't have these issues when I'm coaching people under load. That's why, because I spend so much, and Dan literally said it before, and he was like, and it's at the start of the session, so you've got the most attention of them. Yeah, they might be bored out of their brain 40 minutes in, or knackered, and like, oh, I'm just probably thinking about the meeting they're about to go to, or I've got this next. guess what? At the start of the session, they might listen to me properly for the first 25 minutes. And that's probably where I'm going to get the most bang for buck and benefit. And I think that's big on movement cue. Like, and suddenly I've spent see my warm-ups. I think I totaled up. It's sometimes somewhere between 50 to 70 lunges, or possibly somewhere around that body weight style. Guess what? They're not going to have any issues doing any kind of split stance, split lunges, all that kind of movement, because it's just ingrained into them, like body weight wise, so much in their warm-ups that kind of the coaching issue under load doesn't happen. Because I'm like, remember that? Yeah, I just want you to hold this weight in a particular way. That's it, and do that movement. Because all those movements that we've rehearsed so much in that coaching bit, and I always think that warm up is where the coach coaches. Like, you don't have load really. You've got like the intensity. You've got the person's attention, and that's where I think you earn your money as your movement coach. Not a movement coach. I realize people are like, oh, personal trainer. I'm like, oh, yeah, but you want to coach movement. Essentially, you're asking people to prescribe like exercise to people. You're coaching movement, and it's your authority to do it well. Guess what? And not everybody needs to pronate bench press and do some shitty shoulder press. Guess what? It's insane. Like, you can get them moving about and being athletes. So yeah, I'd rather they do that. But I think just from people going towards, if they want coaching science kind of thing, and learning people how to do stuff, I think one of the best books is probably Brett Bartholomew's Coaching Science. I believe he is a good lad. Good beard. I would push somebody towards them. And then you've got like coaching fundamental like patterns like Nicole Rodriguez. I think Kevin Carr does an amazing job with a lot of his cueing, so obviously fanboying one of my friends, I can say that. Yeah, I would go towards those. Anything like for what's his face, Testagen, the guy who set up Exos. I think the Exos coaching methods, like just their cueing, Mark Testagen, all their stuff, that's what they do. They're really good coaches. And they get their people to do stuff really well. Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid. So yeah, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's the way to go. And then it relays all of that coaching stuff relays into small group coaching. And if you're able to do that well, then you're kicking the gas, I think, as you come out of lockdown, be able to get new clients, focus on your movements, get those fundamental like 7-8 done, and then you're gold. Should be fine. All right, mate. Is that enough? Normal talk? We've got to talk about the European Super League. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's just. I think it's just born about obviously through money, right? That's where the whole thing's come from. It's just money driving the game, and the owners of these clubs basically. I think I read something today where basically the crux of it is the owners of these football clubs in England are realizing they make no money. They basically are pumping all this money into the clubs and all this sort of stuff, and they're making no money. And I think when you look at the American system and how the Americans do their sport, where there's drafts and trades and there's not a lot of money exchanged hands. You spend a lot on salary, but you don't actually pay any money for people when you want them transferred. You just swap them around and all this sort of stuff. I don't think it's ever going to get to that point with the whole football thing. It's never going to get to that point. But there is the concept there of they just want the best people. They just want the best of the best, and they want to showcase it around the world and charge billions of pounds to people like Amazon, Facebook, YouTube to play their games. Like the one thing it has brought about is the whole concept of how football is broadcast is going to change. I don't care what anyone says, like Sky soon are done. They're done. Like, because Sky, yes, offer all this money to them. All it's going to take next season is Amazon, or next time it comes up, Amazon will offer double, triple what Sky offering, and they'll say, yeah, but we want every single game to be available live streamed on our website any time of day, so that the 3 o'clocks can be played on Amazon. And eventually, it's just going to go that way, where the clubs are going to go. And I think the whole reason at the moment they don't like the 3 o'clocks played on TV is because no one ever goes to the games. I assume that's what it is.
Yeah.
But the amount of top games that are moved for TV anyway, doesn't fucking matter. So Amazon will turn around and go, yeah, but okay, well, we'll double the revenue we give you. So it doesn't matter if fans don't come anymore because we'll pay you the money. We'll pay you that money. And Amazon will just have the monopoly on it, or YouTube, or whoever it is, will have that. And that's what it boils down to. It's just boiling down to money talks. And I hear all the protests. I get all the protests and that sort of stuff. But these are also the fans that want success for their clubs, and they want their owners to spend millions of pounds on players, but they don't want them to then go and get millions of pounds from people that can give it to them to have a better sort of product, I suppose, which I find quite ironic, that the fans are the ones that are in uproar, but yet they're the ones that demand more money spent on these clubs, and they have no understanding of how these things run in any way, shape or form. That's just purely from the commercial side of things. From a footballing standpoint, it is stupid, obviously, as that's what everyone else has said, right? The whole, like, there's no relegation, there's no promotion, there's no incentive at all. But the thing that I find odd is that I saw Pep Guardiola came out and said something today about how if there's no competition, if there's no effort or there's no reward for the effort, there's no sport, and there's no relegation, all this sort of stuff. And I was like, yeah, but there's no relegation in the NBA or the NFL, but it's still fucking competitive. Like, it's not like is that, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, after the regular season, it gets a little bit shit. Like, you know, like once people know where they're at in the postseason, they kind of like, and they know they can't get into it, they suck it off.
For that though, that's the only thing it was built like that. So obviously the NFL used to be, so that's why you have two divisions, right? Because it used to be the NFL and the AFL, so the American Football League and the National Football League, and then they merged to create what would be the National Football League, like the whole thing, and that's how they got the AFC and the NFC, the two conferences. But there was never a case of like you could get dropped down. It was never a thing. So, but even then over there, you can obviously buy a franchise. You can make a franchise. Like David Beckham's got a franchise, like Inter Miami, whatever it is. So you can create one just out of thin air, it seems. But you also, it's almost like, all right, I'm going to buy a Starbucks franchise. I'm going to make money. It's essentially what they're doing. I've just decided to have a football team. That's what it could happen over here. They've obviously talked about the NFL to come to London for a long time, and they're always projected by like 2030, 2040 that we would have a team over here, which would be great. I'd love that. But I can understand it. Yeah, from the money point of view, I get it. Like, they want to make more money. They want to have, basically, they're the clubs that bring the most money in. They're the clubs that like the most money is spent on. So they think they should have a decision of where it goes, which I totally get. Like, if I was like, oh yeah, I'm the top talent in the BBC or whatever, like everybody watches me. Look at Top Gear. Everybody fucking watched them, and then they walked, didn't they? And they're like, oh, everybody's gonna watch them over there now. So just go to Amazon, like, because they could pay them a lot more at the end of the day. And I was like, all right, good. I can see that from a footballing standpoint. As a loyal Southend United fan, I'm never going to be in the Champions League. I mean,
yeah. I think that's the thing. It's the uproar. Is, again, it comes from, you know, what teams does it come from? You know, like from that point of view, and it's the teams that are maybe annoyed they didn't get selected to go. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just find it a bit like, again, as a Reading fan, it's never going to bother me. It's never going to bother me.
I don't understand the divine right for Tottenham and Arsenal together. I realise Arsenal were obviously a force when we were growing up. Obviously, I love watching them. But no one's they were like, hang on, you're 11th.
It's not based on that, though, is it? It's to do with, it's going to do with fan base, stadium size,
fan base, and then the top is at the top amount of revenue per club, like the top 10, all six.
Yeah, and the
fact
that
the top 10.
Arsenal's chairman is American, or one of them.
Stan Kroenke, who also, Stan Kroenke is American. Yeah, he's the majority, and he also owns, I believe, the Denver Nuggets and the LA Rams. So yeah. He might own another Denver team as well, I think. So yeah, he knows the model pretty well. So they want to do that basically, which I don't understand as well, of them being. I actually don't know how they would play that. I'm unsure on what the game thing was going to be. Like, they're going to play midweek games, but are they going to play every week midweek?
I think it was going to be like the Champions, basically Champions, just going to replace Champions League, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they already reformed. They were reforming the Champions League anyway, so I didn't really understand what was going to happen because that was going to be split into 2 leagues, and then like the winners of each league or playoffs, and that goes forward, just to make sure that more big teams play each other, because that was going to be a reform that was going through, and then there's another thing going through. I can't what would happen, it would kill those teams even participating, because there's obviously a lot of talk about the Carabao Cup being discontinued anyway, and that's sad for obviously the smaller football teams who they maybe live off an FA Cup like gate receipt. Like that's the beauty of some of the Carabao and the FA Cup things. You draw Man United away, suddenly that's a huge payday for a small team. It's like, all right, well, we're going to earn £1 million from that one gate receipt, like, because they're split 50-50, aren't they, in cup matches? So yeah, that would be sad.
Yeah. I wonder if that's starting to dwindle a bit though, because obviously that was always on TV. Do you know what I mean? You would just wonder if all these numbers are starting to dwindle a bit, so they're actually a bit like, screw it. There's not much benefit, but.
It was interesting when obviously COVID happened. A lot of the publishment of gate receipts to TV money was made, and obviously the lower leagues need the gate receipts to survive. As their stuff isn't on TV that much, like they don't have a lot of TV money, so the gate receipts are a large portion of how they operate. Whereas you'd say probably like Man U or Arsenal, yeah, they have great massive stadiums and they're able to take a lot of gate receipts, but they're probably earning, I'd assume, about 80% of their money through TV, like in other ways. So commercial, selling shirts, and etc. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I understand both premises, and I don't want it to happen. As we speak right now, Man City and Chelsea have pulled out. Are pulling out of it anyway, and Ed Woodward, chairman, vice of Man U, has resigned. And one does wonder that because of the threat of you can't play anything if you do this, and like it's gonna get like Boris fucking has like laid in though, like literally the governments of the like politicians are getting involved to make it not happen. Also coincides that Man City and Chelsea are both in the Champions League semi-finals. Not saying anything, but maybe they want to do that if they get canned. And also, they don't have American owners.
That's it. There you go.
Interesting. All right, we will leave it there. To be continued, I think that we'll discuss it vaguely next week. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of angry people. Unfortunately. All right, mate. Any other business?
For me, nope.
No. I've been incredibly quiet on Instagram because fucking busy. But we have the MyProtein first in-person examinations this weekend. So I'm sure, MyProtein will be filming it, I believe, everything. So I'm sure we'll post a lot of that stuff up if people see it. Wonderful. Good luck to all the MyProtein PT schemers people. Who are wonderful. So they all got 100%. They all passed their level 2 exam. So they've got their level 2 practical exam this weekend with me and Luke.
Fun times.
I know, and I also wore my camo hoodie, and then I put a plant next to me the whole time because I was like, you can't see me, right? Good. But the joke worked a lot better when I was teaching them. So.
Such a dad joke. Such a dad joke.
It was, yeah. All right, mate. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will catch you next week.
See you later.